Last week, I did a video on 10 things to do to maximize your college experience. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about 5 things to not do to ensure that you have the best experience in college, as well as some tips on how to ensure that you're caring for your physical and wellness while you're in school. See you in the video. Alright, so the first thing that I want to tell y'all is do not be afraid to change majors. As I said, I was starting school. I had an idea that I wanted to do accounting, and it was kind of the only thing I knew, so I decided, okay, I'm going to do it anyway. But when I was in my 4th year, I was kind of looking around for different things. Had I gotten to the place where I'm thinking, you know what, maybe I should have just changed my major, I would have probably started looking sooner. But in my case, I'm kind of glad I didn't find anything else, because I probably wouldn't be making this video. But maybe for you, that is something that you need to do, because you know you don't like what you're doing and you kind of feel like you're stuck. So explore different majors that your school offer. And if you're in the freshman year, this is the perfect opportunity to do it, because you have no commitment yet. You haven't been doing specialized classes yet until you reach at least junior year, probably sophomore, but at least junior year. So you can really take advantage of changing the major, looking around and finding a different career that may be for you versus the one that you're in. And if you realize that what you're in is really what you want to do, then okay, fine. But at least you gave yourself the opportunity to kind of look around, right? The next thing is, do not be afraid to change your space. Maybe this is friends, stepping out of your comfort zone. Maybe like me, you are introverted and you just want to be left alone all day. So to step out of that, maybe you're getting involved in a lot of campus activities and stuff like that. So don't be afraid to change your spaces. If you're around people who are not supporting you and contributing to your progress and want to see you succeed, maybe it's time to just find different circles of people who really want to see you win and be around those people, feed into them and let them feed into you as well. The next thing is, do not do your schoolwork on time. I know this may be obvious to a lot of y'all, but it's not obvious. I was on a scholarship, so of course I was not going to be wasting my time. Somebody literally paid $60,000 for me to go to school. And I saw people who were paying out of pocket, not coming to classes, not turning their assignments on time, and all of it. And I'm just like, why? I have a very controversial opinion on schooling. I do think it's important, and if you want to pursue certain career path, it is necessary for you to have, your credentials, your bachelor's, master's, PhD, or whatever certification. I understand that. But I don't think going to school is the only way to learn, and I also don't think it is the only way that can make you successful. So, that's my view on it. But if you do decide to do the school route, why not just commit? Why not just give your all to it? Turn your assignments on time, show up the classes, participate, all of it. Why? I don't understand that. But that's something that I would also say, do not do your schoolwork. They are not a suggestion. If the professor put them up there, it's for you to do. You're getting grades, it's all contributing. Yes, A and a C, you still get the bachelor's, but at the same time, you're training yourself out to show up, and you want to show up as your best self at all times. So make sure that you're turning in your school assignments on time, right? I can say this one is very personal. Do not shy away from opportunities just because you think you don't qualify. I can tell you that a lot of opportunities I got in school, outside of school, and just in general are things that I were not qualified for. Someone knew me, they referred me, and I have some skills, so I'm not saying that you should be just not feeding into yourself that you have no skills at all, but I'm just saying, based on the description of that role, the ideal person that they were looking for is not me. But I was able to show up as my best self and still get the job done. So some things obviously may not be for you, but that does not mean you should shy away from an opportunity just because it doesn't have these things that that describe you personally. You may surprise yourself. So you want to show up regardless, all right? And the next thing is, do not take on too much early. And this is a perfect segue for, talking about how to care for your physical and wellness being. But just to give some, give a little context on that, taking on too much early. When I started school, I was coming from high school, I was very involved in my latter years of high school, and I had that momentum coming into college. And so I joined organizations, I joined volunteer clubs, and I started taking on a lot of leadership roles. I was working part-time, internships, all of it, and it was great. To put on my resume, I had everything to put on there. But in terms of I felt I was not getting sleep, I was running around my head all the time. I was on time, but I was drained, all of it. It wasn't a good feeling for me. By the time I got to my senior year, I was like, you know what, I don't want to do any of this. And so what I ended up doing in that time was I took a 1 year sabbatical, if you will. Probably was more than 1 year, but I was just not taking on any extracurricular activities other than the ones that I already had. My tenures for some of the positions were ended, so I was basically just a student ambassador by the time I was, third, fourth year. But I didn't take additional internships. I wasn't really going to conferences. I wasn't really as involved. And I think that was kind of a backward approach to it. I would prefer if in the beginning you're not that involved, and then by the end you kind of, get that involvement, because it also helps when you're putting things on your resume. You have recency. All of these things that you are putting on is not from the first year of college, but they're more recent to graduation. So I would say not take on too much early, right? Some ways that you can care for your physical self and your wellness. Obviously, exercising is one of them. It can just be what is specific to you. You don't have to go for 1 hour, get a personal trainer, all of that. Maybe it's just long walks, maybe it's just running somewhere, whatever you are normally inclined to do, just do that. Because if you are making things difficult for yourself, you're not going to want to commit. So you want to make it very easy for yourself and start with reasonable, achievable milestone, 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, until you can work your way up, right? And it is a proven fact. Like, it's not just that you're doing it just to get fit or what have you, but it's also good for your mental health. It helps you to release, it uplifts your mood, your energy, all of that. So that's very helpful to enhance your physical and your wellness. Also, I would say eating. That's something that, even though I'm working on it, there are times when I eat very well this day, the next day I don't eat the entire day, or I eat here and there because of my schedule and so forth. So I am still working on this myself. But I definitely know on the days when I do eat well, I feel a lot different than on the days when I don't. So I can definitely say, that also helps you, especially when you have a lot of assignments, you have a lot of early morning classes or activities throughout the day. You need that energy to fuel yourself, right? So, that's also one. Also, therapy. This is controversial. Everybody has their own opinion on it. I'm not on here to discuss or debate anybody's opinion. I'm merely sharing mine. It be helpful. It can be helpful to talk to other people about the struggles that you are facing. They can help you to see your own perspective, because sometimes it's not always about giving and taking advice. Sometimes it's just you hear yourself talk and you realize what you need to do just by hearing yourself talk. And then you have someone to just kind of walk you through and navigate the different challenges that you're facing in your life. You can search your school website and see if you can see therapists are listed there, or you can check out other external websites affordable for students. If you guys want me to do a video showing affordable therapy services for students, I can definitely do that. Just comment below and let me know if that's something that you all want me to do. All right. I would say the next thing that you can do to focus on your wellness is writing. It does help to put your thoughts on paper. You cannot get a better understanding of what you really feel. Like I have written things down, and in the moment it didn't feel like anything, but when I look back on it a few days ago, a few weeks ago, I'm just like, man, I was really feeling some deep stuff. Like, what is all of this? So it does help you to see where you're at in a particular moment. You can track all you're feeling across days, months, weeks, and it helps you to assess if you really need to get professional help when you see your feelings on paper. So writing is definitely something that you should look into to enhance your physical and wellness while in school. The next thing is traveling, going to places by yourself. Not everybody is comfortable with this, but and I'm not gonna convince anybody. Everybody has a different way of how they release, but I feel like it helps you to disconnect and reconnect with yourself. So maybe it's not traveling to a different country or state. Maybe it's just going to a different part of your city, just by yourself. You have your device. You can just turn it off or put it on silent, so you can just connect. For me personally, I really like nature, so going outside and just connecting outside with nature is something that helps me to just free my mind. So you can navigate this however you wish. I'm just saying, I think that would be helpful, going somewhere by yourself, connecting with nature. That's what gets you, in feeling connected. So, that's something that you can look into. If you want to take this to another level, there are also camps and boot camps and all of these things that promote disconnecting for days. You can probably travel to one of these retreats, not using your phone for some days, and doing some really deep soul search. So if you want to take it up a notch, you can also do that too. Search around in your city, see if they are located there or nearby, and if you were thinking about this is your sign to do it. All right. And the next thing is just saying no to things that aren't really serving you. So I know that when you're in college, and I did say this in a previous video, actually in my last video, when I'm saying that you want to get the school experience, but I also did say that does not mean staying up all night and then not being able to show for your responsibilities the next day, right? So if your peers or people are constantly pressuring you or asking you to go out in the night when you have school in the early morning, you don't have to say yes. Those are things that you say no to, because those are things that are affecting you. Maybe the other person who's asking you to go somewhere is able to function on lesser sleep than you, and you are just out here dragging and feeling lousy and all of that. Everybody's body is different, everybody's cognitive system is different. So if it doesn't work for you, don't force yourself to confine to that. So if that's something that you need to say no to that. On the other hand, if there are things that you really do need to say yes to, like self-care and finding time for yourself, and just going somewhere by yourself and catching up with your friends later, those are things you can say yes to, right? So just finding ways that really work for you, I would say, to help you feel your best, because that's absolutely one of the things that you really need to focus on, especially when you're under a lot of pressure with assignments and everything that you have going on. You need to focus on that aspect of things. So that's all for this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope I was able to give you guys some value and some tips. If you didn't watch the last video, you can check it out here, and I'll see you in the next video. I'll actually see you right here. All right, take care.